also extremely inspiring. I like numbers, I'm gonna go straight to it. We're gonna talk about the real estate market in Grand Bahama and its opportunities. Now, standing on protocol has already been established. I always wanted to say that at least. So, number one, the main thing that we wanted to really portray and let people understand that real estate is not just about buying and selling properties. When you're looking into real estate, you're really seeing a key indicator in how an economy is doing, whether it's a country, an island, even just a city. You're really getting a kind of a mirror to look, not even reflect, but you're looking straight through it to see this is how people are doing. When we're telling you about different properties that are selling, when we're telling you about the shortages that we're having, these are people's lives that we're dealing with, honestly. Shout out to Rupert, because you were very honest in your presentation today, and I was impressed. Yeah, usually you have people fluff a little bit, not you, but other persons in general. But I was so impressed. I was telling LaShawn, I was like, this is okay. But what we see in real estate, when persons have money, they're buying more homes, they're investing in more investment properties, income properties. When businesses are thriving, they're increasing their capital expenditure. They're building out their own headquarters, they're expanding to more locations. When real estate is doing well, when our economy is doing well, we're seeing more money, more transactions, more jobs, more construction. We're seeing a stronger economy for Grand Bahama. And I think that's what we're all wanting and why we're here today. So the current market in Grand Bahama, and I'm gonna keep this very short because everybody touched on real estate today, made my job very easy. So we're seeing property values that are rising. We're seeing it in specific sectors though. Unfortunately, vacant land is not that sector. Vacant land properties are they're still kind of like flatline if it's inland. But we are seeing an uptick when it comes to canal front properties as well as beachfront. Always been expensive, clearly. When we're looking at developed properties, they're selling quickly if they're well priced. You might have a friend that has had their property on the market for 6 years, it's overpriced. That's it, that's all it comes down to, it's overpriced. But what we're really seeing, and the issue that we're trying to tackle as best as we can as Grand Bahamians who own this firm, we have lots of Grand Bahamians that have come into the market. However, our competition used to be just the second vacation home buyer, and they're kind of just buying condos, being gone for 9 months out of the year. What we've been seeing in the past 3 to 5 years really, but really this last year has been a challenge. We got a bunch of Nasuvians moving to the island. A gang of them. But Drelo, and the thing is, what's insane about it, when they're coming, they are coming with money, and they're moving quickly. And their attorneys are very busy compared to our relaxed attorneys. So what we're seeing is the Nasuvians are coming in, and I shouldn't even just say Nasuvians. Nasuvians, the people from Abaco, a lot of them have moved here. You have persons even from Exuma. I saw one guy that I haven't seen since high school because he moved, and I said, didn't you move? He said, yeah, I'm back now though. I'm like, okay. But we're seeing that Grand Bahamians, I'm going to talk to Grand Bahamians because I am a Grand Bahamian. We're seeing that Grand Bahamians are not only falling back when it comes to, or falling behind in comparison to the second homeowners that are non-Bahamian, but we're seeing that we're falling a bit short in comparison to other Bahamians. So, main challenges in our market, fun stuff. Low sale inventory. Who in here knows someone who wants to buy either a single family home, duplex, or triplex this year? Throw your hands up. Okay. I'm gonna do the, put it back up, I can't count that quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna do just 1, 2, and that first 2 rows there. That's 10 people. When we look at the majority of our economy right now, the persons who are entering the economy, or the persons who are entering the real estate market specifically, they're young Grand Bahamians, they're aged 30 to 45, they're working full-time jobs and they're gainfully employed. However, the majority of them are going to be obtaining mortgages, and their main pre-qualification amounts are between $150,000 to $250,000. What are we missing? Properties between $150,000 to $250,000. We don't have it. I'm sorry, the time when you could have bought a house for $80,000 is gone. This is courtesy, this is our little website right there. This is courtesy of the Bahamas MLS as of yesterday. That is, can you see that? I'll tell you what it is. 26 listings, so single family homes, duplexes, and triplexes in Grand Bahama. This is everything that's on the open market at under $250,000. 26 properties. I can tell you because my lovely business partner has a few of these under contract and she hasn't updated her listing. Neither have I, it's okay. So I can tell you for a fact, out of the 26, there's actually only 15 of those that you can actually purchase. About 6 of them already have contracts on it, and the remainder are either falling under HOPA, so foreclosure properties that cannot be sold, or we got some legal disputes because people love to get divorced and not agree. So that's the reality. So when you're looking at us telling you, hey, there's a shortage in housing and we need something to do about it, this is what we mean. Because you can come to us and tell us that you're qualified, however, if you're not interested in one of these properties, we're not builders, we're not able to meet the demand that's there. So we had about 10 people that said they knew one person. I remember I told you, only 15 of those are actually available that you can place a deposit on. Where is everybody else gonna go? That's our problem. Now, fortunately, all of us who are still here really like to make money as well. And there's a quote by Paul Marson that says, business is all about solving people's problems but at a profit. And that's what I like, profit. The first opportunity I'll speak to today would be development or redevelopment of single-family homes under $250,000. If any builder right now were to just focus in this price point, they could probably retire by the end of the year, literally. And I can say this for a fact because I'm always getting into fights with one of my preferred builders because he'll tell me, hey, I have 8 properties coming to market, and by the time, literally this just happened about a few weeks ago, he's built out 8 single-family homes. By the time the second one was complete, all 8 had already been sold. These were to persons who were showing that they had their full pre-qualification deposits, because one thing I give it to Bahamians and give yourself a round of applause, you guys have actually been saving recently, which is really nice. Everybody is scared now. So, well done. But if someone were to come and either build new properties and keep it under this price point, or purchase and renovate older properties, they would do, not only they would make a killing, but they would do what we needed to happen within the last 15 years. We need new properties to be developed. You're not reinventing the wheel. You can go to DevCo and start building a development and ask for plans. They're there. And when you look at properties, and when I'm speaking of this, when you're looking at properties like Hudson Estates, Park Royal, which was built by Out in Construction, you're looking at properties like Heritage off of East Sunrise Highway. Those are the properties that everybody wants. I think the last one we did in Heritage was a police officer who got it. And when I tell you, I got lucky because she had the listing. The listing was in our office. We had about 10 people who were ready to take his place if he did not move quick enough. I had to threaten him, and his wife was pregnant. It's a lot. We're friends now, though, we're good. But yeah, the big thing is why it works. You're not reinventing the wheel. This is tried and true. It's just houses. It's very simple. But also, vacant land, fortunately, extremely affordable. I can't even beat up on DevCo today because you did so well, so I won't even say anything about it. So, opportunity number 1, building single-family homes or duplex because we love an income property. And we're going to touch on that later. Second opportunity, providing financing for persons who are non-traditional buyers. So remember we said 30 to 45 and they're all full-time workers? Well, you have a large portion of persons as well who are like me. I work on commission, also I'm self-employed. Banks don't like me, to be quite frank. They don't like me at all. Also, surprisingly, banks don't like other bankers. They make it very difficult for them to purchase. So when we look at a need that needs to be satisfied in the market, and it's completely untapped and untouched in Grand Bahama, surprisingly, providing financing. You will have someone, again, like me, like your hairstylist, like your contractor, your plumber, electrician. They are making bank. He's in the room. Oh, hey.
Let's say 6 or 8, 7.
Which one?
For the interest rate.
That might be. Or you done it. That might be 8. Could be 6 or 8. I gotta check. That is Windsor Estates, and that is Nassau. They charge extra for everything. But the thing is, even with the higher interest rate, you will always have the demand for it, because I can tell you for a fact, the same developments that you saw persons were mentioning that have the Bahamian contractors working, so Carnival, Stanger Island, GB Shipyard, they all have subcontractors, and a lot of them are only contract workers. You know what it feels like that I work probably about 70 hours a week, stressed out, getting robbed by attorneys, getting robbed by my clients, and my plumber called to tell me, hey, find me a vacant lot for up to $75,000, I had the cash, let's go. Excuse me? But that's the reality, because they know that most banks, most commercial banks, will not look or give them a second look or consideration. So their reality is, and my reality is, I'm going to work, bust my butt, and save, because we don't have the highest savings rate anyways, but we're gonna make sure that we figure out a way. My plumber, I won't even tell you who it is, he's on his 3rd investment property. He owns a duplex, he has a 4-plex, he has a 2nd 4-plex that he's currently renovating, and his wife finally gave him the approval to buy his canal front house, because that's his dream, to build a canal front house. $75,000, and he isn't even cutting up. He literally harasses me Saturday mornings when he's free to say, let's go find a canal front lot. This is your plumber. These are your electricians. These are your electricians, looking right at him. Yeah. So, if you give them the option of finding houses and saying, hey, you have the option to put up that same deposit, and a lot of us will put it up non-refundable, they're never gonna miss that payment. I've personally done owner financing. I was not missing a payment. You can even incentivize them more and say, hey, we'll take a portion of the cost off if you pay it quicker. So I was in an owner finance deal that I had 5 years to pay it off, and I made a deal with the owner. I said, hey, if I pay this off within 3 years, can you take off like, 10,000 or something? And they didn't expect it until I sent that last payment, and I said, okay, we're done. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, no, we're done. Didn't spend any other money, I just made sure to make those payments, and I did not want to think about it at all. That is a huge market, because has anybody bought a house in the last 3 years? Ooh, you don't count. But if you speak to anybody who's gone through the process, it can be tiring, it is exhausting. When we look at the rate that we can find private lenders. Anybody heard of the Sunshine Boys? Sunshine Finance has a big business with Gateway Financial. They are, and Iraq Home, sorry. You are able to go direct to them. They built it, they have the engineers, they do everything, and you pay directly to them. You know how crazy it is? We work for Gateway to resell some of their properties, and our buyers will say, hey, I'm no longer financing with Scotiabank. I'm going through Gateway to get my financing for the house that Gateway owns. Perfect, wonderful, amazing. It takes the time off of us. I love it because I don't have to think about it anymore. That's you. Commission, cool. But yeah, private financing or financing for non-traditional buyers, a huge thing. People used to call it rent to own. It's the same idea. It's much better though, and very much legal, unlike how some people were doing rent to own. Next opportunity, you have rental properties, both in the residential and on the commercial side. And I'm gonna make this one super quick because I need you guys to really stay here with me, because I saw some of y'all were eating earlier, and I know y'all are tired. The multifamily rental market on the residential side is a key way to build up your passive income. Nana was speaking about not having to work for your money or put up your time. This is the easiest way. People call it passive income. It's not too passive when you're a landlord. It could be stressful. However, in comparison to clocking into someone's 9 to 5, it's worth it. We have owners. I can actually speak to that particular building, the first one. I owned that building and I still manage it to this day for the current owner. I don't think this man worked a day of his life. But every month we take out the expenses. His expenses are less than 10% of his monthly income. He does whatever with the rest of it. That building is currently clearing about 3,600. Can y'all guess where that building is? Y'all know Imperial Gardens, downtown? It's right behind that. Clearing 3,300 every single month without issue. The tenants in this area, and I think I spoke to it here, this is your sweet spot. Everybody wants to say, oh, I want a high-end rental, I want to do this, I want to do that. But we need to, again, focus on Grand Bahamians. Yes, you can get Carnival to rent out your place. Yes, you can get someone from GB Shipyard. However, you have to remember the people that you went to high school with. They're not wanting to pay $1,500 for a one-bedroom. We want to pay $850 for a one-bedroom or less. 2 bedrooms under $1,000, $1,300. These are your sweet spots here, because these are your tenants that will never leave you. They're on average staying for about 7 years or so, and they are happy. They're not moving until they move into their own place. They're not going anywhere, and they pay on time. This is the fun part. Remember, I wrap it up right here. And I wish they were here, but all the government gone. It's election time coming up. Clearly, in order for Grand Bahamian real estate market, economy, Grand Bahamians in general to succeed, we have to get fiscal policy reform. There's 3 things I want to touch on, and I will leave it at that. Real estate tax ID numbers. This is the newest thing within the last 2 years that we have to have. We didn't have it before. There is no reason that to just get the tax ID number, meaning the number that they're just going to put on the conveyance, should take you a few months to get. It is ridiculous, and we all know it. I see the head shaking. These are the people who have to deal with it every day. Secondly, if we want to truly stir Bahamian home ownership, it should not take 6 months for a Bahamian first-time home buyer who is purchasing either a home, duplex, or triplex, months to get their VAT exemption, which is their legal right as Bahamians. Again, ridiculous. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. This is affecting you guys in more than one way. The real property tax ID numbers, because that process is taking so long, we now have attorneys who are raising their fees because they're stuck following up. You've had attorneys who've raised their minimums from $1,500 up to $2,500 because of the time and just honestly waste of time that it takes to just get this one number. Same thing with the VAT exemption process. There is no reason that a Bahamian who was born here, or however you got Bahamian, and have the right to get VAT exemption, there's no reason that you should be penalized by the banks to have to put up the VAT exemption because you have to apply for VAT exemption. That's a program that you should have been born with the right to get. Makes no sense. And the last one, because I think, hi there, you asked the first question of the day. Are you right there? When it comes to VAT, a reduction of the VAT transfer tax for non-Bahamians, it is a necessity. Because what they are failing to realize, and I think what Bahamians fail to realize, the fact that foreigners are now being taxed at 10% is not only affecting the foreigner and rising their costs. You have to realize that the seller of the property, to mitigate that now 10%, they're raising the price. So they're raising the price and it's driving down the amount of sales because now it's become more expensive for the same property to actually sell. These are the fiscal policies that if someone come knocking on your door in red, yellow, green, I think it's all the way. Whoever comes knocking on your door and say, hey, vote for me, ask them about these. Because this is your future and this is where you need to change it. Because honestly, they're not affected by it so much. And they're not paying the price, only we are. So thank you.